This is a Russian captured K98. This is what you will find in a lot of stores, on a lot of websites. It's a relatively cheap gun as far as Mausers go. In this series we're going to make is going to talk about how to refinish one, basically from the state it is now to something that looks a little bit nicer. Because right now, basically what happened is after the Soviets captured, of course, tons of them in the Second World War, they arsenaled them and they stockpiled them and they kept them around because who knows when they're going to need them. But they made some changes to them, and that's pretty prevalent just by looking at them.
Yeah, so they redid the stocks with their awful this really nasty red shellac and paint and all kinds of crap. You can even see some of the paint on some of the metal parts. As a replacement for bluing, so it really sucks. Match because these are all mismatched parts. They were just taken apart and thrown back together, so nothing really matches, and they just penciled it in to make it look like it did.
Yeah, they're not obviously not really highly prized as collector's rifles, but what they are is great shooting rifles, because oftentimes the bores probably range from fair to very good, I would say, from the ones that we've seen. But the Russians also had a habit of rebluing and not cleaning any of the rust. This particular example doesn't have much of an issue with that, but a lot of times you'll find on them sometimes right on the receiver where rust is bubbled and they didn't care to clean it off and they just ended up rebluing over it. You'll have bad bubbling. It looks pretty bad, but the whole gun is pretty black actually. The bluing they did use was dark. It doesn't look that bad if you clean it up right. There's certainly everything's electro penciled as we were just talking about, and it doesn't match. This example has, you can't really see it, still has the markings, but the Russians a lot of times peened the swastikas off, and the eagles you can kind of see over here. You'll find some eagles, but they mostly got rid of all the markings. One thing with Russian captures that you'll find almost always they're missing the front sight hood, the cleaning rod, and then there's some screws on the bottom of the rifle that basically hold the whole floor plate and the whole rifle together. And then there's little locking screws you can see is missing right there. Just capture screws they're usually referred to. Most people won't get them on their rifle. But otherwise, it's a nice rifle for someone who wants to shoot, and our goal is to make it look a little bit nicer than its current condition. So stay tuned, and we'll continue from here.